Alrighty, folks. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has been overseas for the past week. We've seen that in the news right throughout the weekend and a bit. Meeting with various world leaders at several different summits. But it was at the G20 conference where he said something that intrigued many Aussies in the agricultural sector. Mr Albanese declared that our country's agriculture has the ability to feed the world. A promising comment to make on the world stage, but for many back home, they say it's simply not the case. Queensland Senator for the LNP, Susan McDonald, has long been involved in the business of agriculture and was one of the Australians who had an issue with what the PM said at the G20. To explain where she thinks Albo went wrong and how Australia can improve its agricultural industry, the Senator herself joins me on the line now. Good morning, Senator.
Hey, good morning, Bill. Great to talk to you.
I appreciate your time. Hey, why did you and so many like you take issue with what the PM said at the G20? Just explain for us.
Well, look, what the PM said about being a secure and safe supplier of food to more of the world is fantastic. We should absolutely applaud that. And we know that Australian farmers, even though those in the south have had terrible flooding, we have droughts, we have bushfires, but by and large, Australia feeds itself and it feeds a good part of our near neighbours and the rest of the world. So we feed about 25 million people here and between 60 and 80 million people overseas. That is something to be incredibly proud of. But it's not the reality of what's happening at home right now. So while the PM's over there saying, you can rely on us, we're going to grow more food and send it to you, the Environment and Water Minister, Tanya Plibersek, has just cancelled all of the North Queensland water projects. And this is really serious because in the south, in New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, they have very sophisticated, intensive farming operations. They do an amazing, terrific job. But they've got water infrastructure, they've got roads, and in Northern Australia, that's our opportunity to really get stuck in. We've got the right soils, we've got water, the CSIRO's done a whole lot of studies, but over $6 billion of water projects that were allocated for the North have just been ripped out. And Bill, the worst part is that the money is going to go to the Murray-Darling system to buy back agricultural water from there. You know, so we're going to miss the opportunity in the North. We're going to reduce agricultural production and decimate towns all through the Murray-Darling because the kind of rule of thumb is for every megalitre of water that goes, it's $10,000 into the local community of jobs and contractors and bakers and, you know, cups of coffee bought. So we're going to take that money from the North, miss opportunity, not grow more food, not provide world food security at a time when there are terrible droughts and food shortages in other parts of the world, and we're going to reduce food production in the south. So I guess my problem is I don't have a problem with the PM, what the PM's saying. I have a problem with what the rest of his cabinet's doing. And that really worries me, that there's not a coordinated approach and an understanding of what does it take to grow more food, you know?
Yeah, okay. Well, you've made a pretty good case there. We can feed the world, but don't take the money off the table, providing us by the means to do that, to grow the food. So I appreciate you giving us your side of the story and giving us a bit of insight. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. I think it's important that Australians understand this, that we send a message to our elected officials and say, we back you in Australia doing what it does best. But you've got to be practical, you've got to have a plan, you've got to invest in the right infrastructure, and you've got to do it now because Tasmania built 16 dams of the last 20 in Australia in the last 20 years. They took federal government money and they did that. But in Queensland, just when we're at the edge, the precipice of being able to build some new water infrastructure, we've had that funding taken away. So,
all right. Thank you very much, Senator for the LNP, Susan McDonald, joining us on A Weekend Breakfast.
Authorised by Susan McDonald, Liberal National Party, Townsville.